Let's get back to what the Prime Minister's been up to. Anthony Albanese's been in Peru and Brazil. He's been at the G20 in Brazil. He got to meet with Xi Jinping, among others. Let's catch up with Michael Shoebridge from Strategic Analysis Australia, joining us again from Canberra. Thanks for joining us, Michael. The meeting with Xi Jinping, it seems strange to hear what Albo was telling us was in and was out of those conversations. What's your take on it?
Well, Chris, Mr Albanese gets effusive when he sees Xi Jinping. So he was all over himself, thanking him for the hospitality Xi gave him in Beijing, and then seemed to spend his time talking up growing trade between Australia and China. And this is part of his crusade at the G20, where Mr Albanese sees himself as the new global champion of free trade at just the wrong moment in world history.
Yeah, it's very strange to see how almost sycophantic he is to the Chinese leader. Here is Anthony Albanese after the meeting.
We've resumed a range of dialogues and the tempo of bilateral visits is increasing. Trade is flowing more freely to the benefit of both countries and to people and businesses on both sides. Our whole region will benefit from the prosperity that can flow from peace, security and stability in our region.
Yeah, that was actually Anthony Albanese in the preliminaries of the meeting. Let's jump ahead and have a look at what Albo said afterwards when he was asked whether or not he raised the issue of a possible Trump Mark II increasing tariffs.
With President Xi, did you sort of speak either directly or indirectly about Donald Trump's tariff plans, and you sort of agreed position that they're not a good idea? Did that come up?
No.
At all? No, nothing.
Was there any discussion at all about the Trump administration as such, whether, because you said you were about regional and international peace, did that come up, what the Trump administration might mean for that?
No.
Michael, how could this be? How could he have a meeting with Xi and not talk about the looming Trump administration and certainly not talk about what that might do to world trade?
Well, it is gobsmacking, isn't it? Because remember, he's meant to have these leader-to-leader meetings so they can have honest and direct conversations with each other. And if that global economic issue doesn't cut the mustard, you've got to wonder what does. But, you know, Xi has inflicted a case of gastric reflux on the leaders of the G20. It was back in 2017, under Trump's first term, that Xi last pretended he was going to be the saviour of the global economy and free trade. He didn't do that then. He did the opposite. And now he's back selling the same old lies to everybody. And Mr Albanese seems to believe him. He seems to think they're going to be best trade buddies confronting Trump's policy.
Just briefly, though, how awkward is it for Anthony Albanese to being praised by China at the moment? China is saying everybody should behave like Australia. It looks like we're the lapdog now. At the same time, we're worried about tensions in Washington because they don't like Kevin Rudd as the ambassador.
Yeah, it is crazy. I mean, the EU are in an arm wrestle with Beijing because Beijing is trying to kill Europe's car industry. It's already killed its renewable industry. And Washington is obviously on course to do more of what Trump did in his first term. We all know that. This is the wrong time for Albanese to be looking like he's Xi Jinping's best friend on trade and economics.
Indeed. Thanks so much for joining us, Michael. I appreciate it. Michael Shoebridge there telling us how it is from Canberra.